Yes, good afternoon everyone. Myself Tanishwari Enola. As I had said to you, I will be handling across with Unix programming. And with your last few classes, we have come across to know how does Unix as an operating system differs with any other operating system. So we have come across with the major features of Unix, then we had come across with some Unix basic command usages there, then we had come across with Unix file system, how many different types of files are there, what is the uses of directories, what are the different ways of addressing any particular file name. So these all things we have come across with our last classes there. So in our today's class we will come across to know with the next one here. So let's come across. So with the basic file attributes and change in file permissions. So these are the two things what we are going to study in this particular video here. Basic file attributes. So firstly let us come across to know that how a file is being identified. A file is being identified usually by a file name, if at all I consider any respective file system there. But here you can just consider that the file is not identified by the file name in Unix. It is being identified by the attributes which define a particular file. So attributes are nothing but the properties which define a particular file. So the properties are, it says across with the, now like for example, here it is there. So the basic things are basic file type there, then file permission, then links, ownership, who is the owner of that file, who is the group owner of that file, then file size, last modification date and time, and then comes the file name. So till now we have come across to know that only file name was a content which was and content which we usually say with respect to a file. But here we'll come across with all of these things there. Okay. So when I use just ls as a command, you must have come across to know that ls as a command is used to list all the files and the directories under the current directory there. All of them will be listed to you. Okay. But here there is an additional option which you can use along with ls, and that is called out as ls-l. So -l stands out for listing of attributes there. Okay, it's usually called out as -l stands out for long listing. Why long listing? Because there are 7 columns which are addressed by this particular command there. Okay, so these 7 columns are being called out as your basic file attributes there. Okay, so let us come across with the I'll just take across with an example and then I'll explain you. You can just see here. It is ls-l. Okay, then you can come across to know that it will tell you total 72. How is the output being displayed on the screen? Total 72. 72 is nothing but 72 blocks of memory is being consumed to store this particular data about these all files which are being listed here. Okay, namely chap1, chap2, so on until PROGS. Okay, so now let us come across with the very first column here. Okay, so let us come across with the very first column. So now this first column tells you regarding file type and permissions. So file type is being given out by the first very hyphen sign. Okay, so what's that hyphen? Hyphen represents you the file type there, whether the file is a directory file, whether the file is a regular file, whether the file is a device file, if device file, whether it's a block device or else whether it's a character device, whether it's a symbolic link file or else whether it's a pipe file. So these all things are being denoted by your very first hyphen there. Okay, next are being represented by permissions. So these permissions are given in 3 respective categorizations. What are those? You can just go through. It says 3 bits each. Okay, you can just go with the third very row here. Okay, first there is a hyphen, then RW and a hyphen, RW and a hyphen, RW and a hyphen. So this entire column is divided accordingly as first one, hyphen. Hyphen denotes the file type. Okay, so whenever it has a hyphen, so it means that the file name called out as dept.list is a regular file. Okay, now at the same end you can just go across with the 5th row here. Okay, so you can find that the first hyphen is been replaced here with a D. So D says that help dir is an directory file. So similarly for device files, this particular hyphen is replaced by either B or C respectively. B stands out for block device, C stands out for character device. Then let us come across with symbolic link. So symbolic link file, usually it denotes it as a S there. So that says that the particular file name is a symbolic link file. Okay. Then let us come across to know that it is being divided into three very bits there. Okay. The first three bits are R, W and a hyphen. R stands out for read permission, W stands out for write permission, then a hyphen says that that particular permission is absent there. So what are the three permissions what you are expecting in for any respective file there? Read, write and one more is execute. Okay. If anywhere you find it and hyphen there, so it means that that particular permission is absent. Okay. So if it is there, then all the three permissions are given to you. Okay. Just go across with the third row example here. It says hyphen, that says it's a regular file type. dpt.lst is a regular file type. The next three, it has been represented as R, W and a hyphen. R, W hyphen says that this particular permission is for owner of this file. That is nothing but who has created this particular file. So the permission are R, W and a hyphen. So the owner has the permission of reading and writing but not executing. Okay. Next, you can shift to the next one, R, W and a hyphen. So it says the group members, whoever are the group members. Now always keep in mind, there are users who are working on Unix as an operating system. So they are being categorized like this. So either that person can be an owner, else they can belong to a particular group, or else they can be, if they are not owner, or else if they are not group members, then they are lying into others there. Okay. Then let us come across with the third categorization, R, W and a hyphen. It says read, write and execute is absent here. So which says that the execute permission is not available for the respective file called as dept.lst. Okay. So similarly come across with the fifth row. Okay. So there you can just find that it is D, R, W and X. So D, R, W and X means that it's a directory file. Read, write, execute permissions are given to owner. Next, read and execute permissions are given to group members. Then the last one, read and execute permissions are given to others. Okay, of a directory file called as help dir. This is all regarding your very first column there. Okay, now comes the second column. What is the second column? It tells you regarding the link count there. Okay, what is this link count now? Link count is nothing but and file. Okay, and file can be linked in multiple ways. Now, like for example, if I create a shortcut of a particular file, else if I create and link saying across that, instead of accessing the D drive and other things there, I want to access it directly from the desktop there. So at that time, what I can do there? Okay, so I can create a link between those two files there. When I create a link, so as soon as I create a link, your link count increases here by +1. So firstly it will be 1, then later it increases to 2. Similarly, if one more link count is added to it, then it increases to 3. Like this, it goes on. Okay. Then comes the third column. What is this third column? Third column is the user ID of the owner. Okay. Then comes the fourth column. What is this fourth column? Fourth column is the group ownership of that particular file. Okay. Then comes file size. Okay. That is your fifth column there. Okay. Then comes your sixth column is entirely the last modification date and time. And lastly, the seventh column is with the file name. Okay. Just I will give you a generic example here. Go to the third row. Third row file name is dept.lst. It's a regular file. Okay, I will just give an example. It's a regular file with read and write permissions for owner, read and write permissions for group, read and write permissions for others. With a link count of 1, Kumar is the owner, that's a user ID, Metal is a group ID, 84 is the size of that particular file. Then the last modification date and time is Feb 12th, 12:30 p.m. Okay, so this is how you will be listing across with your file, listing file and directories there. Okay, the same thing is being given here as a description, what each of them does there. Okay, so then let us come across. I have an extra option here, that is instead of using -l, okay, so I can use directly -d also. Okay, if I use just -d, it will list me only the directory files there. It will not list me the files under the current directory. Okay, but if here ls-l and along with that if I use a d, okay, what it will do, the 7 columnar display will be given to you, but keeping in mind the directory files there, only directory files. You can just see with these examples, help dir, progs, these two are directories. Okay, so you have these as your directory attributes there. Okay, so this is one. Then comes, just now I had spoke to you regarding file ownership there. Okay, so when you create a file, you become automatically the owner of that. Okay, now similarly there is group owner there. So what do you mean by group owner? That's nothing but a certain group is formed, and whatever permissions are there, those permissions are effective for those group members there. Okay, then usually we say that owner is being identified by the user ID and group owner is been identified by the group ID there, and usually those are numeric representations there. Okay, then the file permissions, as I said you just now, I have well enough discussed regarding these file permissions there. Okay, now as I had said you, consider the first column. Okay, hyphen rwx, as I said you, rwx says that all the 3 permissions are available. Okay, r-x says that only read and execute is there, hyphen is missing. Okay, third one r-hyphen. Okay, so that says that only read permission, and for others the other file permissions are not there. Okay, here you can just see with this example, it says hyphen rwx, r-hyphen x, r-hyphen, and then comes a file name. Okay, the first one, the first 3 permissions are given to owner or user. The next r-hyphen x is given to group members. r-hyphen is a permission given to others there. Okay, it means that a owner is a one. If all the 3 permissions are there, that's nothing but an owner can read the file, write onto file and execute it. Okay, group members, okay, you can only read the file and execute, but you cannot make any changes to it. Others only read, neither can write, neither can execute. Okay, so now comes an question that now these are the permissions. Okay, now assume that I, being as an owner, I want to change the file permission for a particular file which does not have a editing permission. I want to give that particular file an editing permission there. That is, write has to, editing is nothing but I want to write something onto it. So how can it be done? So changing file permissions can be done in 2 ways. Okay, one is called out as a relative change of file permission, one more is called out as absolute change of file permissions there. Okay, and these can be exhibited by chmod as a command. Okay, chmod is a command which is used to change the